What's up guys, Michael from Copper v Glass. Just a quick review now of the iPhone 5. It's my most anticipated phone of the year. I've been really looking forward to it. I've had to wait a while to get it. So I thought I'd give you guys a quick rundown of all the best features, the hardware, the software, going through things like the operating system, the camera, web browsing things, to just kind of give you my opinion basically. So let's get to it. Okay, now first off is the actual design itself. Obviously you've got a really nice 4-inch display on the new iPhone 4, keeping the same aspect ratio as the previous version. The back, now glass panel at the top, obviously aluminium through the middle, another glass panel at the bottom, so a really nice design there as well. Quick look around the ports, you've got things like obviously the headphone jack is now on the bottom, you've got the new lightning cable, and obviously the speaker there, and obviously the microphone down the bottom as well. Really nice design there. Heading now up to the top, you've obviously got your sleep wake button, your vibrate, and obviously the volume up and down rocker as well. Now next up is the camera. Basically obviously one of the main reasons why people get a smartphone and things like that is a smart point and shoot camera basically. Now the one thing I'm really impressed with this camera is the speed at which it takes photos. If you have a look in just a second, obviously the speed at which it takes photos is phenomenal. It's literally click, 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 and it comes up. So we'll just have a quick look now. You can see here that it is insane. Every photo is perfectly fine. It obviously takes a photo perfect. Obviously, even with HDR, still goes just as fast. Obviously, you've got things like flash and things. Obviously, the automatic focus and things are still there. This is the new panorama feature that you've got on the iPhone 5. Very simple to use. Point at what you do, click it, move the camera. You want to try and keep the little arrow as close to that white line as you can. Sorry if I go off screen here a little. And then once you're done, it will save it as a panorama. You can have a look at it basically. Have obviously up to 270 degrees wide round. So that is a really nice, neat feature to have on there. I'm a big fan of panoramas and things as well. Just the actual speed of this phone. If you have a look now while I'm just deleting some of these photos, it deletes real quick, gets rid of things that you don't need. What we're going to do now, we're just going to have a quick look at a couple of sample photos that I've taken with the iPhone 5, just from the last couple of days when I've had the phone basically, just kind of get a feel for what it is and kind of how it looks. At the end there'll be just a very quick kind of video of using the actual front facing camera, obviously which is now a HD camera, so to have a look at the quality of that, and a couple of low light pictures as well just to show how good it is in low light situations. Okay, so next up what we're going to have a look at is the software on the phone, i.e. iOS 6. Obviously iOS 6 I've kind of had a bit of a bitch about on my iPhone 4 saying how not so good it is basically. On here though, it is pretty much the best operating system I've used. So we've gone over the camera already, so that's not really too big of a deal. One thing that I want to just show is obviously the 4-inch screen on this phone, just how better it is in terms of video playback. Obviously there's no black bars down the side or anything. Obviously viewing angles are great on this phone. Obviously I've got a screen protector on at the moment, so it might not look great. I've got a matte screen protector, but actually to fill the screen with YouTube videos and podcast videos and things like that is a lot better than how it used to be, in terms of obviously if you wanted to zoom in it would kind of make it bigger than it needed to be and things, and wouldn't really look great. Next thing we're going to have a look at is the Maps application. Now again, a lot of these features I'm going to be showing you weren't in my iOS 6 review because I couldn't do them on the 4 basically. I haven't had any problems with the apps, with the maps. They've been perfectly fine. I haven't had any issues with the way they look or anything. If you have a quick look now at London, for instance, we can really get a view of the new 3D flyover maps and things of obviously certain cities. And you can see here that the actual maps themselves are extremely detailed. The amount of information that Apple has got, obviously from their servers and things, to get these maps looking as good as they do is insane. Obviously you've got things like Street View of Google Maps and things, but just to be able to look around a place in this sort of manner and things, I personally think is better than Street View. Obviously you can see massive landmarks, you know exactly where you are, and obviously just the way that it works as well, it's perfect. You can see how fluid it is, how easy it is to use, just going from flat to 3D. It is very nice in the way that it's done, and like I say, I haven't had any issues with it. And obviously having a look now at London, obviously we've got here the what's this? We've got London Eye now showing up. Again, you can see here, just be able to spin around things, look at all these major landmarks is very nice. Obviously, you've still got the option for a standard, hybrid, or obviously satellite map. The hybrid maps sometimes take a little bit of a while to load, but obviously it gets the information there in terms of obviously street names and obviously major landmarks and things. Obviously, the standard view is, I think, is kind of biggest letdown in terms of the new maps. They're not as nice as the Google Maps with just the standard view, basically. But still a nice feature. And obviously, things like the turn-by-turn navigation, I'm going to do a separate review on when I'm obviously out driving and things to obviously show you how good that is. So, I mean, like I say, there's a lot of things that are kind of the same, but obviously one new feature is Passbook. I've got here my Starbucks card with 0 on there. Obviously, I've only just kind of put it on there to see how it kind of worked and things. So that's a real nice feature to be able to have things like that and not have to kind of fill up your wallet with all this other like loyalty cards and things. And hopefully going to bring it to a bigger market and have more things on there that you can use, basically. One thing I want to show obviously is the keyboard. Obviously with the larger screen, obviously the keyboard itself has been increased in size. It doesn't fill the whole screen. There are still little bits down the left and right hand side. But the actual keyboard itself is a little bit bigger, obviously to take advantage of the bigger 4-inch screen. Things now with Safari. It is blisteringly fast. I'm not sure if that's just my Wi-Fi because I personally think it's slow. But things like the new widescreen option for iOS 6 also does make it look very nice. Obviously, if I just have a look here, try and find a more kind of graphic intense website, maybe see if we can get onto The Verge, for instance. Obviously, like I say, the actual screen itself is very nice. I mean, even looking at it in portrait mode, obviously there's more information on screen than what was on there before. And obviously with the screen, obviously with the Retina screen itself, it's very nice. I'm just going to see if I can go onto the full site just to, again, give you some sort of an example. But I think, to be perfectly honest, that my Wi-Fi doesn't seem to be working that great. I've been having some issues with my Wi-Fi lately, so I might have to maybe give that one a miss. But I mean, if you actually look at it here, obviously the 4-inch screen is perfect. Obviously the speed of Safari is perfect, and I really can't fault it. It's the best kind of web browser that I've personally used. Also, I've used Chrome and things on iOS, not too great. I've used it on Android, which is nice. But things like iCloud tabs, obviously you can get information from any other iOS devices you've got. Obviously I've got it here on my iPhone there, what I've got open there, and also on my MacBook Pro as well, with that information of what I've got open, basically. So to have that all there when you come back or when you leave your house and things, it is really good to have that. Now the Mail app has received a bit of an update as well in terms of the fact that you can now have kind of a VIP folder for obviously special individuals and people, companies, etc. Again, though, the speed of this and obviously the amount of information you can fit on screen because of the 4-inch display as well is really nice. Like I said, so you can fit a lot more on there in terms of amount of emails, text messages, obviously viewing your calendar and things. There's a lot more real estate to be able to use. Obviously, some apps have stayed the same, like I mentioned, like the weather app. There's no difference there. Basically, the weather stock app is exactly the same. One thing that I didn't used to have on my iPhone 4 is obviously Siri, which I've now got on the 5, and I do find myself using it a fair amount. Just for simple things, obviously like asking if you need an umbrella for obviously the weather and things, and just in general, basically to get recommendations, maybe to send text if I am driving and things. To me, it is a really nice feature. I mean, I've had a lot of people send that they don't really use it as much. If at all. I personally have started to use it quite a lot, just for little things. I mean, obviously you can go onto Google and search for things. Obviously, if you can just ask it, for instance, like I have here, can you recommend a good movie for me to see? I put say, but it still worked out that I wanted to obviously see what the best kind of movies are in terms of reviews and things. Now, if I would ask, for instance, can you recommend a good movie for me to go and watch in a cinema? It would also bring up the local ones within my area and things. This here, though, it's going to get some information from the Rotten Tomatoes website, obviously giving the score and things of the best movies that it personally has kind of rated, basically. So as you can see here, it brings up a nice little kind of card of the best movies that it thinks that I would like to watch and things. Obviously, it's got the Rotten Tomatoes score on the right-hand side. And obviously, if you actually do click on one of the actual movie titles itself, it brings up a bit of a synopsis of the actual movie itself, kind of example of the kind of artwork for the cover and things. So again, it's a really nice way that it kind of presents all the information and things. So, I'm quite impressed with that, to be perfectly honest. In terms of the actual apps themselves, also there's a lot of apps that have been updated to iPhone 5 and iOS 6. Some apps that haven't been updated, for instance, Angry Birds is still the kind of 4:3 display of the iPhone 4. I don't think I've got my 4. If you have a look at the iPod Touch now, Obviously, looking at the difference there, it kind of makes it the same screen size as what it was before. Obviously, there are some apps that have kind of taken advantage of the new screen. Obviously, new apps that are coming out, for instance, Real Racing 3, when that comes out, that will take advantage of the screen. A nice game called Death Dome, which I like, which is kind of a Borderlands Infinity Blade hybrid. And obviously, Asphalt 7, again, this game does take advantage of the new screen very nicely. Obviously, if we're having a quick look now, if I just have a quick see, also look at how it goes through the menus and things. It is blisteringly fast to kind of bring information up and things to pick what you want, and obviously it's really quick to actually get into a race as well. I mean, from start to finish, me loading up the app, getting into a race, I'm pretty sure it took maybe about 30 seconds or so, if that. You can see here from the visuals, I'm not sure how it will kind of come across on the video, obviously because I'm just filming it from my camera. It is very smooth, there's no lag at all as there was maybe beforehand, and obviously the visuals themselves do look great. I mean, I've not had any hiccups of any games I've been playing because of the new A6 processor and things, and it is, like I say, blisteringly fast in terms of anything that you want to do on it, basically. So I'm pretty impressed with the actual hardware and things that has stayed on there. For instance, the music app, not really too much difference apart from the fact that there's more space on there, and obviously the iOS 6 colour change that came into effect when that got released. But like I say, simple things basically, like the top there, you don't have to kind of click to bring up a timer to see how long you've got left and things, basically. So again, I'm really impressed with the screen. Is a major thing for me, and just the OS itself, basically. So I'm going to kind of round this video up now to kind of give my overall opinion on the actual phone itself, and do kind of, I've never done it before, I'm going to give a kind of an actual score out of 10 of what I think about the phone, which I'll be using for kind of further reviews and things. Okay, so what are my thoughts on the actual iPhone 5 itself? Now for me, it was definitely worth the purchase, because obviously running the iOS 6 on the iPhone 4 that I've been doing recently, obviously it's been very slow and not exactly great. Plus, I was at the end of my contract anyway, so I didn't have to pay anything extra. It was definitely a worthy upgrade for myself. And to be honest, I mean, if it was going to be, for instance, a 4S to 5 upgrade, maybe wait till the 5S, whatever they're going to be calling it. Only reason being because the majority of things on this phone that make it good is iOS 6. Obviously, for me, though, the actual hardware itself is the star of the show. It is, like I say, a perfect design. The way that it's been machined to look as good as it does is actually, incredible. So, I mean, in terms of an actual score that I'm going to be giving it, like I say, I'm going to be working on a 1 to 10 basis, 10 being amazing, best in the world, 1 being don't ever look at it ever again. So, I mean, for me, iOS 6 maybe does let it down ever so slightly, only because it hasn't changed since 2007. But the iPhone 5 does, though, get a solid 9.5 out of 10. Like I say, it's definitely a worthy upgrade. Like I say, I would get it, I have got it, like I say. If you're on the market for a smartphone, obviously there's a lot of competition out there with the new Android phones and things like that are available at the moment. But to me, iPhone definitely the easiest to use, and with this new design, the best to use. Obviously, the 4-inch screen is really good. Obviously, it's not too big. It's very easy to use. So I'm very happy with the iPhone overall, hence why the score. So like I said, it comes to the end of the review now. Like I say, so keep to Copper v Glass for the latest iPhone and Android information. And like I say, I am Michael from Copper vs Glass, and I will catch you in the next video.